Have you ever looked at a pair of socks and thought this could change the world? Me neither. Not until I heard about Bombas. Here is one of my sock. Couldn't find its partner. Anyway, I bet you have a couple of pairs yourself, but you must hear this story. And I know you're thinking, a story about socks. Really? Yes, really, but this is not just any pointless story. Last year, Bombas donated their 75th millionth pair of socks to homeless shelters. 75 million. This isn't just a sock company. This is a movement, disguised as everyday footwear. A business that started with a simple, almost ridiculous premise. What if buying a pair of socks could directly help someone who needs them most? It sounds like one of those feel-good stories you hear and immediately think, there is no way this is real, but it is. And the journey of how two guys turned a random fact about homeless shelters needing socks into a multi-million-dollar company. That's a story that will make you look at your feet and the world completely differently. So buckle up, we are about to dive into how two entrepreneurs transformed something as mundane as socks into a powerful force for social change and built a business that most people said would never work. Let's talk about the world of small businesses in 2013. Startup culture was booming, but here's the brutal truth. Most small businesses fail. And not just fail, and they crash and burn spectacularly. Entrepreneurs were flooding the market with endless apps, tech solutions, and disruptive ideas. I hope you can remember. And here comes two guys with a pitch that sounds absolutely crazy. We are going to sell socks, and for every pair we sell, we'll give a pair away. In a world of complex business models and venture capital dreams, Bombas was swimming against the current. The traditional wisdom, focus on profit, minimize costs, scale quickly. Their idea, do good, make quality, and trust that people will care. The numbers were stark. The average entrepreneur would look at this and laugh. Retail clothing market, brutally competitive. Profit margins on socks, typically razor thin. Social mission, often seen as a nice to have, not a business strategy. But here's the thing about conventional wisdom. Sometimes it's completely wrong. The marketing landscape in 2013 was changing. Social media was transforming how people think about brands. Consumers, especially millennials and Gen Zs, were starting to ask radical questions. It's not just what are you selling, but what are you standing for? This was the perfect storm brewing. A market hungry for authenticity. A generation that wanted to feel good about their purchase. And two entrepreneurs who saw something everyone else missed. That a simple sock could tell a much bigger story. The central question wasn't just, can you sell socks? It was, can you change the world? One sock at a time. Little did anyone know the answer was about to be a resounding yes. It all started with a podcast. Not just any podcast, but a simple episode about a startling statistic that most people would have forgotten 5 minutes after hearing it. Randy Goldberg and David Heath were listening to a TED Talk about homeless shelters. The speaker mentioned something that would change their lives forever. Socks are the most requested but least donated item in homeless shelters. Most people would have just felt momentarily sad. These two guys, they saw an opportunity. Randy and David weren't sock experts. Randy was a marketing guy who had worked with startups. David, on the other hand, was a corporate executive feeling increasingly disconnected from his work. They were classic entrepreneurs, smart, restless, looking for something that meant more than just a normal paycheck. Their first move wasn't glamorous, no massive funding, no Silicon Valley connections. Just two guys in a New York apartment obsessed with solving a problem most people didn't even know existed. The initial challenge was brutal. They knew nothing about manufacturing socks, nothing about textile design. Their first prototypes were terrible, uncomfortable, poorly made, nothing like the precision-engineered comfort they'd eventually become known for. But they had something more important than expertise, a compelling mission. Their approach was different. They didn't just want to donate socks. They wanted to create the most comfortable sock possible. A sock so good that people would actually want to buy it, not just out of charity, but because it was genuinely superior. They spent months researching, talking to homeless shelter volunteers, understanding the specific needs of people who needed these socks. They learned that it wasn't just about giving any sock. It was about giving a high-quality sock that could actually make a difference. Their Kickstarter campaign in 2013 was their first real test. Their goal? To raise $15,000. They needed to prove that people would buy into their crazy idea of a sock company with a social mission. They raised $140,000. This wasn't just funding, this was validation. Proof that people were hungry for a brand that stood for something more than just selling a product. But the real journey was just beginning. A successful Kickstarter is one thing. Building an actual sustainable business, that was going to be an entirely different challenge. Here's the secret source of Bombas' word-of-mouth strategy. They didn't just sell a product. They sold a feeling, a story, a way for people to be part of something bigger than themselves. Their sharing mechanism was brilliantly simple. Every single purchase told a story. Imagine buying a pair of socks and knowing that exact same pair is going to someone who desperately needs it. It's not just a transaction, it's a personal connection. It's solving a problem you didn't even know existed an hour ago. The psychological triggers they used were masterful. Their tangible impact storytelling. Each purchase came with a clear visual narrative. Customers could count their contribution. Packaging told the story of where donated socks go. It also made giving feel immediate and personal and not abstract. 2. Their social media amplification strategy encouraged customers to share their donation moments, created hashtags that tracked real-world impact, made sharing feel like a badge of honor, not just marketing, leveraged user-generated content as primary marketing tool. 3. Their emotional connection mechanics transformed a mundane product, socks, into a moral choice. It made customers feel like heroes in a small but meaningful way. It addressed a genuine social need most people didn't know about, and it created a narrative people wanted to tell their friends. 4. Their product design as a conversation starter. Socks weren't just comfortable, they were conversation pieces, unique colors, designs that stood out, quality that made people want to talk about the product. It solved real comfort problems people actually experienced. 5th, their referral program architecture made sharing financially and emotionally rewarding. First-time buyers got exclusive insights about their donation, created a community, not just customer base. Referrals came with stories, not just discount codes. The genius was in making something as boring as socks feel exciting. They turned a commodity into a movement. People didn't just buy socks, they joined a tribe. They became part of a story about solving a real-world problem, one pair of sock at a time. And the best marketing? The kind money can't buy. Genuine, passionate word of mouth from people who truly believed in what they were doing. Let's talk money, because Bombas isn't just a feel-good story, it's a financial powerhouse disguised as a social mission. When Randy and David first pitched their idea, investors looked at them like they were crazy. A sock company that gives away half its inventory. The math seemed impossible, but here's the financial breakdown that shocked everyone. Here's their revenue trajectory. 2013, Kickstarter, 140,000 raised. 2015, they appeared on Shark Tank. 2018, $100 million in revenue. 2022, $225 million in annual revenue. Finally acquired by Contour Brands for a reported $1.2 billion. Marketing efficiency. Traditional advertising spend minimal. Customer acquisition costs significantly lower than industry average. Word of mouth conversion rate estimated at 4 to 5 times industry standard. The financial paradox. Most businesses see social missions as a cost. Bombas turned it into a competitive advantage. Their one-for-one model wasn't just charitable. It was a brilliant marketing strategy that reduced traditional advertising expenses, created organic, passionate brand ambassadors, generated free media coverage, built an emotional connection worth millions in brand loyalty. The donation wasn't a cost, it was an investment. By 2020, they had donated over 50 million pairs of socks, created a brand more valuable than traditional sock manufacturers, proved that doing good could be a scalable business model. Their financial strategy defied conventional wisdom. Spend more on product quality, give away 50% of inventory, rely on customer storytelling, build a brand, not just sell a product. The result? A company worth more than $1 billion, built on a model that traditional business schools would have called impossible just a decade earlier. This wasn't just a sock company. This was a case study in 21st century capitalism, where purpose and profit aren't competing ideas, but complementary strategies. Most people don't think technology when they hear socks. Bombas turned that assumption on its head. Their innovation wasn't just about social impact. It was about reimagining what a sock could be through obsessive, almost scientific product development. The founders didn't just design socks, they performed a complete technological deconstruction of foot comfort. The key technological innovation, honeycomb arc support system, they used advanced 3D modeling to create perfect arc compression. They mapped the human foot biomechanics at microscopic levels, created support that adapts to foot movement. The blister tab technology engineered a unique heel design that prevents sock slippage, used performance fabric research from athletic wear industries, reduced friction points through precision stitching, material science approach, blend of merino wool, polyester and spandex. So they blended the different materials. Developed moisture wicking properties through textile engineering, created a breathable fabrics that regulate temperature. Their digital infrastructure. Beyond physical product, their technological approach extended to one, customer tracking platform. They built custom software to track each donated sock. They created a transparent donation tracking system, allowed customers to see direct impact of their purchase. 2. Supply chain technology. They developed AI-driven inventory management, predicted donation needs across shelter networks, created real-time matching between sales and donations. 3. Community tools engagement. They built recommendation algorithms, personalized marketing based on customer interaction, created digital storytelling platforms. They didn't just make socks, they collected data, a lot of data. They tracked customer feedback in real time, used machine learning to improve product design, continuously refined based on user experience. Their technological approach transformed a commodity product into precision engineered experience. The result? A sock that wasn't just comfortable, it was a technological marvel disguised as everyday footwear. Innovation wasn't just about the product, it was about reimagining how a product could connect with human needs. Why do people really buy socks? It's not just about the fabric, it's about feeling something. Bombas cracked a psychological code that most brands spend decades trying to understand. People don't just want to buy products, they want to belong to something. Let's look at the hierarchy of consumer motivation. Traditional marketing says, solve a problem. Bombas said, create a narrative. Psychological layers of their approach. 1. Basic need. Comfortable socks. Solve the fundamental comfort problem. High quality product as a foundation. 2. Emotional need. Personal identity. Buying becomes an act of self-expression. Customers see themselves as good people. Purchase transforms from transaction to personal statement. 3. Tribal belonging. Community creation. Customers join a movement, not just buy a product. Shared values become stronger than product features, creating an us versus traditional consumption. Cognitive triggers. The psychological mechanisms they activated. 1 was empathy engagement. They made abstract social problems concrete. They transformed statistical suffering into personal connection, and a one-to-one donation model creates a direct emotional link. 2. Narrative transportation. The customer becomes a hero of their own story. Each purchase writes a personal narrative of impact and transforms mundane shopping into meaningful experience. 3. Cognitive dissonance reduction. The idea resolves internal conflict between desire to consume and desire to help. Purchase becomes a moral solution, not just a transaction, and alleviates guilt associated with consumer culture. Why people truly shared Bombas? Not just about the sock, about feeling connected to something larger. Ability to create personal meaning through consumption. Storytelling that makes individuals feel powerful. The brilliance, they understood that in a world of infinite choices, people don't just want products, they want purpose. Bombas didn't sell socks, they sold a way for people to feel good about themselves while doing good for others. And that's a product more comfortable than any sock could ever be. Every great business has its near-death moments. For Bombas, those moments weren't just challenges. They were existential tests that could have ended everything. Their appearance on Shark Tank wasn't the fairy tale success it might have seemed. Behind the scenes, it was a high-stakes moment of absolute terror. When Randy and David walked in, they were basically broke. Their entire company was riding on this single pitch. The numbers were brutal. 140,000 in Kickstarter funds, massive production costs, no guaranteed path to profitability. A model that looked completely insane to traditional investors. Damon John, the fashion and branding expert, was their best shot, but he saw the risks immediately. High manufacturing costs, complicated donation model, saturated sock market, and an unproven social mission strategy. The potential deal could save them or completely destroy their dream. Their first production run was a disaster class in entrepreneurial survival. Initial samples were terrible quality. Minimum order quantities required massive upfront investment. No guaranteed sales, complex textile engineering challenges, limited manufacturing partnerships willing to take a risk. They essentially bet everything on their ability to create a perfect sock. That was it. The one-for-one model faced constant criticism. Traditional businesses called it financially irresponsible. The non-profit sector questioned the true impact. Investors saw it as a marketing gimmick. Constant pressure to prove their model was sustainable. Their financial situation was perpetually precarious. Razor-thin margins, high product development costs, massive inventory investments, donation commitment reducing potential profits. Most companies would have collapsed. Their burn rate was astronomically high. Every sock sold was a complex financial equation of manufacturing, donation, and potential profits. As they grew, new obstacles emerged. Maintaining product quality, scaling donation infrastructure, managing exponential growth, keeping the original mission intact. And their biggest fear wasn't failure. It was losing the soul of what made Bombas special while trying to become a successful company. Beyond financial challenges, the founders faced constant doubt. Of course, friends and family questioning their sanity. Of course, repeated rejection from traditional business circles, personal financial risk, constant pressure to prove their model. The real innovation wasn't just the sock. It was their relentless belief that a different kind of business was possible. They didn't just survive these challenges, they used them as fuel. Every obstacle became another story to tell, another reason for customers to believe in something more than just a product. And in the end, that belief was worth billions. The story of Bombas isn't over, it's just beginning. As the world changes, so must businesses that want to survive. And Bombas is uniquely positioned at the intersection of technology, social impact, and consumer consciousness. What are the emerging trajectories for Bombas? 1. Expansion beyond socks. Potential product lines would include something like sustainable underwear, performance-based layers, adaptive clothing for differently abled individuals, workwear with built-in social missions. The core strategy remains the same. Create high-quality products that solve real problems while creating tangible social impact. 2. Technology and impact tracking. Future innovation possibilities: blockchain verified donation tracking, real-time social impact visualization, AI-driven needs assessment for homeless shelters, advanced textile recycling technologies. Imagine a world where every purchase comes with a complete digital passport of its social and environmental impact. 3. Evolving social mission. Potential expansion of giving model includes partnerships with global humanitarian organizations, targeted support for specific community needs, customized donation strategies based on regional challenges, creating economic opportunities beyond direct donations. What are their larger economic and social implications? The Bombas model represents a potential blueprint for 21st century capitalism: profit with purpose, transparent social impact, consumer-driven philanthropy, technology-enabled giving. Here are the potential scenarios. Scenario 1. Comprehensive social enterprise. Expand into multiple product categories, create a holistic platform for consumer-driven social change, develop technology that makes impact measurement seamless. Scenario 2 would be maybe global impact platform. Transform from product company to impact technology provider, create tools for other businesses to implement similar models. That's something they can do. Develop AI and data systems that optimize social giving. Scenario 3, ecosystem of conscious consumption. Build a network of mission-driven brands. Create collaborative platforms for social impact. Develop new economic models that integrate giving into everyday purchases. As businesses face increasing pressure to demonstrate social responsibility, Bombas stands at a critical junction. Will they remain a sock company that gives back, or become a technology platform that reimagines how businesses create social value? The answer might reshape how we think about commerce, technology, and human connection. One thing is certain: the most exciting chapters of the Bombas story are yet to be written. In the end, Bombas isn't really about socks. It's about reimagining what a business can be, about proving that purpose and profit aren't opposing forces, but powerful allies. About showing that the most revolutionary act in modern capitalism might be simple caring. And the larger lesson: Randy and David didn't just build a company. They built a movement that started with a simple, overlooked problem: homeless shelters need socks. Think about that for a moment. Of all the world-changing ideas, they chose socks. Not a complex technology, not a groundbreaking app, just socks. Their journey reveals something profound about innovation. Great ideas don't have to be complicated. Solving a small problem can create massive impact. Empathy is the most underrated business strategy. What can we learn? for entrepreneurs, for dreamers like me, for anyone who believes business can be a force for good. Listen to the problems nobody is talking about. Your first idea doesn't have to be perfect. Passion matters more than initial expertise. Authenticity is the most powerful marketing tool. The world doesn't need more companies that just sell things. It needs companies that tell stories, that create connections, that make us believe we can be part of something bigger. Bombas didn't just donate 75 million socks. They proved that business can be a powerful vehicle for human connection, one sock at a time.